What is your attitude towards the ordinance that's going to be debated in city council chambers today regarding dark money in politics? Do you support that?
Well, I support the effort to remove the influence of big money from local politics, but I'm skeptical of any effort that would have the endorsement of the poster child of big money in local politics, which is Rick Kreisman, because he's somebody who already, like his other Rick counterpart, Rick Baker, has raised over $500,000 towards his campaign. More than half of that has come from big money. More than half of that has come from lawyers, real estate developers, corporations, business executives. So I don't know how someone who is literally funded to the hilt by big money can stand up there and say that he's supporting removing big money from local politics, especially when there's an election going on right now. The Tampa Bay Times is holding a debate on July 25th. It's the only televised debate. And they have decided only to invite the two big money candidates, Rick Baker and Rick Kreisman, and they admitted in the pages of the Tampa Bay Times newspaper that the reason why they only invited those two candidates is because they have the most money. So clearly, big money and the local elections are one and the same. And if we really want to overturn that, then we need to stop people like Rick Kreisman and Rick Baker and the whole status quo from continuing to reign over the city. And we have to build a genuinely progressive people's movement. And that has to start with justice and reparations for the black community who have borne the brunt of every economic assault since the city's inception.
What would your plan be for the Midtown area in St. Petersburg?
The plan is reparations. And that's distinct from this arrogant, condescending charity stance.
So how would that in a practical sense positively impact the Midtown area? In a practical sense, what specifically would be different because of that?
Well, it would result in genuine economic development and affordable housing flourishing in a community that is now being bought up by land developers and speculators, and it would bring an end to that. And one specific example of reparations, because reparations is about righting the wrongs of the past, but also about rectifying the conditions that we see today. So one specific example that we will make happen is the Tropicana Field baseball stadium, which was built literally on the destruction of an entire prosperous black neighborhood called Gas Plant. Over 800 black families lived there. Over 100 black-owned businesses were destroyed to make room for a baseball stadium before the city of St. Pete even had a baseball team to put there. And now there's all this debate about removing the Rays from St. Pete, and we don't really care what the Rays do, but our position is that the Tropicana Field baseball stadium, that 85-acre site of land, needs to go back to the black community to build affordable housing and economic development in their own hands, to rebuild and even beyond what used to be there before the city destroyed that and gentrified that. And that is a solution that not only will that have tangible results for the south side, but that will actually benefit the entire city, because right now everyone is facing a housing crisis in the city, and affordable housing on that land where Tropicana Field is would relieve pressure from the entire housing market. So this is a solution not just to the oppression of the black community, but it's a solution for all of us who want to stand on the right side of history. We're the only genuinely nonpartisan candidates who are running on the interests of the people of this city and a platform of reparations and economic development for the black community. The other two candidates are obviously tied to either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, and we're the only genuine independent option on the ballot that represents a progressive choice for the people of this city.
How would the city be different under a mayoralty of Jesse Nevel?
Well, it would be a united city. You wouldn't see all the division that you see right now, where you have all this wealth being poured into downtown St. Pete and all this poverty and misery and police violence and gentrification impacting especially upon the black community and increasingly upon the neighborhoods of this city. It would be a city of reparations. It would be a city of justice. The schools would be repaired. You wouldn't have sewage in the water. The workers would have power. The workers would have at least $15 an hour minimum wage, but beyond that, the workers would have power because we would establish workers' councils to administer all of the departments of this city. You would have community involvement in the decision-making of the city. It wouldn't be this private cabal that meets in city council meetings and looks at a PowerPoint from a real estate developer and then applauds and makes decisions on the people's behalf. The people would actually be involved in shaping the future of our city. So it would be a genuinely progressive city. I think it would be a model city for the entire world.